If you're into first-person shooters, then I think we can agree that Doom is pretty great. But did you know that there's an unofficial roguelike mode for classic Doom? This is Doom Roguelike, an ASCII turn-based game inspired by the classic Rogue, as well as Doom 1 and 2. Created by Cornel Kieslowicz, Doom Roguelike is a cult classic in both communities and has received a lot of praise since its release. It translated fundamental concepts of Doom's gameplay incredibly well into an ASCII roguelike. The emphasis on item management, movement, and monster knowledge are all there, with the added bonus of additional weapons, weapon modifications, character traits, challenge levels, and more. This would lead to the inspiration of a mod that brings the same randomized goodness to the original Doom engine. Doom Roguelike Arsenal, otherwise known as DRLA, is a mod for the Z-Doom family of source ports created by Yoel, Ryan Cordell, and a few other Z-Doom community members. Inspired by Doom Roguelike, DRLA aims to bring all of the fun randomness of Doom Roguelike to the original engine. I know, it's confusing. Doom and Rogue combined inspired the creation of Doom Roguelike, which inspired the creation of DRLA, a mod bringing the fan game back to the source material. You have new weapons and armor, some even come with weird set bonuses and special abilities. You have mod packs that alter weapon behavior and become entirely different weapons if you use specific combinations on them. You have backpacks that allow you to convert all large ammo types to whichever type you choose. There's a ton of variety available to the player, and each playthrough can be quite unique. Hell, even before you start the game, you have to choose a class. Each class comes with their own unique traits and weapon tendencies that really change standard gameplay in unique ways. They're generally broken into each weapon family, with the exception being the Technician, who we'll get to in a second. First up, the Marine. The Marine only consumes 1 ammo per 4 shots or burst, allowing you to spread lead without having to reload nearly as often. Power-ups also last longer, while simultaneously giving rapid-fire weapons a higher rate of fire buff. This class is great if you want to hold down left mouse button and walk to the end of the map. Just make sure to check your corners. Next up, we have the Scout. The Scout has increased pistol damage and accuracy compared to the other classes, along with a run speed and jump height boost. And I know what you're thinking. Did he just say jump height? Yeah, this is a bit of a controversial topic within the Doom community, but in reality, it entirely depends on whether or not the map was designed with jump in mind. Oblige Level Maker, which we'll get to later, can generate maps that are broken by jump, but it's totally up to player discrepancy if this is quote-unquote cheating or not. Personally, I use jump as DRLA has abilities that modify jumping in interesting ways, but stray away from using it to skip entire portions of the map. So don't be afraid, go on, give it a try. Find that jump key and start demon surfing. Moving on, the Renegade. The Renegade fires 50% more pellets with any shotgun-like weapon and can switch weapons instantly. He's also a bit beefier with an additional 50 to 80% armor protection and can lay out serious damage if you accumulate an extra shotgun shot with his passive. Find a row of shells, you might as well have an automatic shotgun. The Renegade is the go-to class if you prefer the classic shotgun and its derivatives, and is my personal favorite class in DRLA. Next up, the Demolitionist. The Demolitionist covers the explosive weapon family group with his splash damage immunity and Call of Duty martyrdom whenever your armor breaks. I have the least experience with this class personally, but if your map happens to generate tons of barrels and explosives, I think you're in for a good time. And last but certainly not least, you have the Technician. As stated before, the Technician has no specific weapon family attributed to him, but he does have the ability to modify weapons much more than the other classes. If you can juggle weapons and mod packs efficiently, you can mod a weapon to fit any combat situation. Find a better weapon than the one you're currently holding, trash the old one and harvest it for parts. This class can be incredibly flexible, but seems to be designed for more experienced players. In combination with the varied classes, weapons, armors, items, and monsters, DRLA can provide a very unique experience each time you decide to play it. I won't get too much into spoilers because even I still haven't found every assembly available, But what I would recommend is that you turn on fast monsters in the gameplay options, as the game just isn't the same without it. The fast modifier simply makes the game more punishing and is the new standard of play for myself personally. As for difficulty options, standard is your typical UV replacement, while the others replace all monsters to fit a certain theme. It can be quite difficult in their own right. Now, what would a roguelike mod be without randomized maps? Well, that's where Oblige Level Maker comes in. Originally developed by Andrew Opted, Oblige, or Oblige Level Maker as it's officially known, is an open source program that generates randomized Doom levels based on user set parameters. These range from map themes to complete control over monster quantity and typage. I expected the maps to just be serviceable, but I was actually surprised by the amount of variety this beast of a program spits out. Just look at what changing a few of the generation parameters can do in terms of level variety. These options are further enhanced by downloading a community-made add-on called Obadon, an add-on whose feature list is just as ridiculous as its name. You can even choose to generate a single map at a time if you feel like testing different settings out. And if you feel overwhelmed by the parameter list or just don't care to tweak every little individual setting, there's nothing wrong with choosing Mix It Up. There's a ton of room to experiment with Oblige, and I recommend that you do. These are my personal settings, though I have to give a special mention to the teleporter parameter. Teleporters are all good fun to get the player from one place to another instantly, but the combination of Oblige's randomly generated maps and Doom Roguelike Arsenal's difficulty make teleporters incredibly dangerous. I always pre-fire teleporters now, which may look a little silly, but it's saved me many times in the past. I've somehow come to enjoy how nervous teleporters make me now, but if that's not your thing, you always have the option to turn them off. In conclusion, Doom Roguelike Arsenal and Oblige Level Maker are amazing. Together, they provide a unique combination of random fun to the classic Doom engine. This sort of roguelike mode has become my go-to for when I feel like stomping some demons, while simultaneously keeping that roguish flair to make things interesting over multiple playthroughs. I made it a personal challenge to complete an entire Oblige and Doom Roguelike Arsenal WOD, and let me tell you, I got my ass handed to me. And had a great time. If you're a Doom fan, I can't recommend Doom Roguelike Arsenal and Oblige enough. My name is Ninjalah. Thank you for watching.